Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to start to clarify that translation as such is not my field of study. It's teaching, and it's teaching especially young learners with special educational needs. But today I would like to combine these two. So let me start with a short introduction. Reviewing the research on in the areas of language, cognition and memory, and paying a special attention to studies relevant to words and the way word meaning is acquired. Many viewpoints may be revealed. One of them explains that learning word meanings can be viewed as an association task, whereby an unknown word's meaning can become known by being presented in connection with a word of a similar meaning or in connection with translation. But still also it has been demonstrated that a familiar context facilitates vocabulary development and retention. So here in this case, cartoons can be this familiar context for young learners. Now I would like to present a character to you. Its name, or his name, is Humpty Dumpty. It's a character from popular English rhymes. The first version probably dates back to the 18th century. But here, this character appears in Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, when he discusses semantics and pragmatics with Alice. Let me quote what he says. "My name is Alice, but it's a stupid name enough," Humpty Dumpty interrupted impatiently. "What does it mean? Must a name mean something?" Alice asked doubtfully. "Of course it must." Humpty Dumpty said with a short laugh, "My name means the shape I am, and a good handsome shape it is too. With a name like this, like yours, you might be any shape, almost." So basically this quotation explains also the meaning of the name Humpty Dumpty. Although he wasn't explicitly described, he's typically portrayed as an anthropomorphic egg. And also referring to this quotation in fiction, so also in films and cartoons, the characters' names might appear to the audience or readers as secondary, because people very often tend to concentrate on the action, on what is happening, or on what is being narrated. However, most of these proper names convey a message to the audience and have functions that make them unconsciously work in the audience's mind. In many cases, there is a great effort on the creator's part to provide characters with a name which fits the character's features and roles played within the narrative, be this a novel, a cartoon, a film, etc. A character's proper name may constitute a unity which equals the sum of characteristic traits and descriptions. Also, characters are maybe described in terms of networks of character traits. Again, their names are considered as umbrella terms which stand for all the characters, traits, descriptions, and characteristics. So proper names in fiction are qualified as semantically loaded and may even be described as dense signifiers, which contribute to the children's understanding of the message, as well as to their sometimes identification with the characters. The characters are very often animals, pets, animated toys, or fantasy objects which tend to show human characteristics, which tend to behave like children and speak like children. Names operate in conjunction with visual images transmitted, conveyed through illustrations. Consequently, the characters' proper names should be generally more transparent, and in animated cartoons fit the illustration or the image identifying the character as exhaustively as possible. That is, they should be, and in fact are less, they become less arbitrary. The main focus of the vocabulary teaching technique I would like to present today is placed on semantic and contextual associations, since very often they are semantic motivations behind the coining of proper names of fictional characters in cartoons, just like in fairy tales. The examples chosen come from Disney or Hanna-Barbera's cartoons. Subjects for the study included 33 third grade pupils attending an inclusive primary school in Krakow. 23 of them, that is 70%, represented a wide range of special educational needs. That's why the classes were considered heterogeneous groups. The results of 6 pupils having a statement of need for special needs education will be presented more in detail. Okay. So here you have the 6 subjects: Monika with mild mental disability, Oleg physical disability, Anita mild mental disability, Dominika physical disability, Ella behavioral disorders, and Jacek behavioral disorders as well. Here, these are not the real names of the children. And here you have the picture of the school where the study has been was conducted. Okay, what was the procedure? How the lesson looked like? So first of all, it started with a short talk in the mother tongue. So in this case, it was Polish, about the popular cartoons chosen for this particular lesson. It was about asking whether children recognize the characters, whether they remember the names. The second step was watching short clips with each of the characters, paying attention to how they behave, also to their appearance. After watching, the third step was using flashcards to revise the names of the characters, plus giving Polish translation, trying to explain the reasons why a given character has got such a name. This is the time for creating semantic and contextual associations. Then, as it is in teaching, several repetitions of the names and also the translation of the names, and a test. The children had to be evaluated so that I knew whether this technique turned out to be effective or not. So watching short clips help the children to easily interpret and fully understand the names of the characters, to understand the semantically loaded message. Okay, so now I would like to present the 9 characters chosen, the content to be taught in the study. You probably know most of them, if not all of them. So the first character is Goofy, in Polish zwariowany, another synonym may be crazy, yes, in English. So if you know how Goofy behaves, then the meaning of Goofy becomes clearer. Another one, Daisy, in Polish stokrotka, so a very delicate, small, beautiful white flower. Yes, so here the association can be made not with behavior, but with the appearance. Another one, Tom, Tom Kocur, like a tomcat, so a big cat, and here also a bad character. Okay, a pair, Chip and Dale, the 3 preceding characters. You could observe the meaning of the names either by looking at the appearance or the behavior. Here the association is not so straightforward, but still can be made. So Chip is Frytka, so a French fry, and Dale is Dolina, a Wally. But if you choose appropriate clips from the cartoons. Also, it's possible to choose, for example, a trip when they walk. They have a trip to the mountains, yes, Wally's mountains, and a fragment where Chip is hungry, yes, and wants to eat something. So, okay, another pair is Pixie and Dixie. Pixie means skrzat, like a dwarf, a goblin, a very little creature, and Dixie is menashka. So it's a small metal container for liquids that tourists may take when they go trekking, for example, yes, to keep water inside. And the last pair is Trump and Lady. Trump in Polish means włóczęga, so it's like a vagrant, a vagabond, yes? The dog was homeless. And Lady, behaving like a lady, dama, behaving in a very distinguished, dignified manner. Okay, this is how the translation test looked like. On the left side, you have the translation from English into L1. They were given both the names and the pictures to aid them, and they could score 1 or half a point for correct or semi-correct answer. Here the Polish spelling was not taken into consideration, just the meaning was important. And when it comes to the translation the other way around, so from Polish into English, they were shown the pictures and asked to give the Polish English equivalent. Sorry. Okay, so let's quickly move to the results. Here you can observe descriptive statistics. So first, mean scores of nonsense children, so children not manifesting special educational needs, the ones developing harmoniously. And below you have the scores of the cases of children with special educational needs. So you could see that the scores generally were quite high. Nonsense mean 98, the translation towards Polish to Polish, and 90 to English. In the case of the second group, it was another grade, another classroom. It was even 100%. Now you have some time to look at the means of children with special educational needs. Monica with mild mental disability, just to remind you, he would just point to the characters, but she didn't remember all of them, and she confused Daisy with Lady, and her handwriting was not clear. But still, when it comes to the translation into Polish, she was very successful. Oleg, 0 points for the translation into Polish, because he had some also behavioral problems, and he gave back a racked up test. Whereas when it comes, and also he put a cross next to each name, but the translation to English, perfect, right? Okay, another Ella. Behavioral disorders, she had problems with Polish handwriting, and instead of Pixie she said Dixie, and she also confused Lady and Trump, but still she was successful to remember some of the names. Anita, her scores are put into brackets because she was a girl with mild mental disability. She was not asked to write the names on her own. She was given the ready-made cards with the names with the translations written, so she had just to match. But in her case, it was quite an achievement, to be honest. And when it comes to the translation into English, she was not able to recall the names, but at least she was able to repeat the names after the research. So for her, again, quite an achievement. Then we have Dominika. With physical disability, she had just problems with Polish handwriting, and Jacek, he confused Dixie and Pixie. But broadly speaking, the examination of the means reveals the consistent effectiveness of using cartoonyms as a vocabulary teaching technique in lower primary inclusive classrooms through associations and context. Although it was concluded still that children without special educational needs performed significantly better in the translation test from L1 towards the to the foreign language to English. So the educational implications for teachers, for educators, as indicated by the present study, may be that an attempt should be made to ensure that the teaching of vocabulary, foreign vocabulary, is done in a contextual setting which is familiar. Maybe one of them may be cartoons, of course not only. And the present trend to view the translation process and its many components as cognitive tasks should be explored further and practically applied in teaching foreign languages, also to learners with special educational needs. Thank you very much.